Clearly. President Trump was right when he told Zelensky, you don't have the cards in this negotiation. Zelensky is facing a war of attrition against an enemy that has a 10-to-1 manpower advantage over him. He has lost the cream of the crop of the Ukrainian military in the trenches over the past 3 years of this war. His country is in dire circumstances. It depends almost entirely on American military aid. The one question I would have here is how this plays out in Europe. There's been some question about whether the Europeans would step up military aid to Ukraine even as the United States steps back, whether they have the capacity militarily to do that as the United States steps back. All of that now is up in the air. We're going to, Kelly, switch over here to a piece of sound because I want to go back to what happened in the Oval Office before this extended drama of the departure, this flashpoint between Zelensky, Trump, and U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Take a listen.
During the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate. Remember this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly.
Ukrainian President Zelensky exiting the White House not as planned. There was no press conference at 1 p.m. Eastern after that exchange that you just witnessed in the Oval Office that took place little over an hour ago. And he has now left the White House, not by the usual way and not in the usual method as Eamon has outlined, and entered the vehicle where he will be leaving the premises altogether. No mineral deal, nothing that came or was supposed to come potentially from his meeting with the president and with Vice President Vance, which you just saw portions of there. Eamon is still with us. Eamon, a quick comment?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're going to need to figure out who that official was who shook Zelensky's hand as he came out. This was very rushed. You saw the Marine Honor Guard there had gone back into the White House as if this departure was not happening. Then all of a sudden the Marines came out, they're on the spot as quick as they can. And they came out, lined up that door and got it open within seconds before Zelensky came out. A very rushed handshake with an official in a blue suit who I didn't recognize in a quick flash. Zelensky's now in the vehicle, and I can hear the motorcade. The motorcycles are now all firing up again. They've got the security gate at the White House open, and it looks like this departure is going to happen momentarily. Clearly, we were just talking about the idea of a potential Trump handshake there at the door to signal, we've sort of patched things over a little bit since the blow-up. That didn't happen. Zelensky's body language was very hasty, and now you see the vehicle begin to move. They're going to come down the driveway here and just past me. I can tell you that some reporters were down at that West Wing door shouting questions at Volodymyr Zelensky as he left. He didn't respond to any of those questions, got into the vehicle, and now he is heading down the driveway. He's going to pass right behind our live shot position here. I'll see if I can get sight of him as he rolls by us here, followed by a staff van here, Kelly. And I can tell you that I just saw Zelensky.
That I was going to use as well. Go ahead, Eamon.
I can tell you I just saw Zelensky in the car. No wave, no thumbs up. Zelensky was on his phone as he was walking out, typing something on what looked like an iPhone as he was rolling out the driveway here just seconds ago. So that is the end of this meeting. Clearly, there's a whole lot hanging in the air, and we just don't have any answers now. A minerals deal, a military aid deal, what the future of the relationship is between the United States and Ukraine, what Russia makes of all this, and what Europe makes of all this. Incredibly dramatic stuff playing out here at the White House today, Kelly.
Indeed.
Question about where does this leave Russia now is a fascinating one, and we don't know the answer to that. We do have a statement out from the Russian government calling this meeting today, quote, historic, unquote. They will like what they've seen here today. What Russia wants is to be able to sign a peace deal with Ukraine on the most favorable terms possible in terms of territory and in terms of any kind of assets, mineral or otherwise, that they may have been able to seize so far in this war. What they've seen today play out is the U.S. back away from its Ukrainian ally and a seeming entire break in relations between the United States and Ukraine that suggests that there might not be any more military aid from the United States to Ukraine. If you're Russia, if you're sitting at the Kremlin watching this play out, you're thrilled. This is exactly what you want. This gives you the advantage now to press the war militarily without the fear of more U.S. military aid coming in the short term. And it also puts Volodymyr Zelenskyy on the spot in terms of any potential negotiations. Any terms he agrees to now will probably be worse than any terms he would have agreed to before today.
Yeah, senior White House official on the wires, Eamon, saying the press conference was canceled, obviously. No deal was signed.
We noticed that.
Yep, it's up to the Ukrainians.
When the guy leaves, you know that the press conference is off.
It's over. He said it's up to the Ukrainians if it can be rescheduled while Zelenskyy is still in the country. So leaving open, I guess, some possibility. Also, Eamon, just want to read you this comment from Macron in France. His reaction to what took place in the Oval Office, he says, Russia is the aggressor and Ukraine is the aggressed people. We were all right to help Ukraine and sanction Russia 3 years ago and continue to do so. And we must respect those who have been fighting since the beginning.
Yeah, and you saw that comment from Zelenskyy in the Oval Office as the president told him, look, you don't have the cards in this negotiation. Obviously, that's an American idiom. Zelensky's English is very good and has gotten much better since the war went on. Not clear whether he understood that or not, but he said, we're not playing cards here. And this is a leader who has been, he was under threat of Russian assassination squads in Kyiv in the early days of this war. The Russians have bombed places where they believe Zelenskyy has been. He has been under physical threat for his life for 3 years. He's watched an incredible loss of life. Almost an entire generation of young Ukrainian men poured into the trenches on the front line, dying to preserve square miles of Ukraine from the Russian onslaught. You can imagine that, he's not in the mood. He's not in the emotional headspace for a lot of the diplomatic niceties that are being demanded of him in this moment. And when J.D. Vance says to him, you're not being respectful, you're not saying thank you, you can see in the body language of Zelenskyy as he folds his arms, as he nods, as he puts his hands on his knees, real frustration with what he had to go through there in the Oval Office, and a sense that this relationship may be slipping away beyond his grasp.
Yeah, absolutely. Eamon, appreciate all the reporting you've been doing for us this hour. Eamon Javers is at the White House. Looking to energy for some reaction. It's a bit of a mixed bag. We see crude under a little bit of pressure, down a tenth or so. In fact,